It is Monday, March the 4th, 2019, and this is the 24 hours of Bitcoin. Our big question for today is, does this RSI divergence have enough power to stop the bears in their tracks? A quick look at our disclaimer, which you can read the full text down in the description below the video. Let's jump right into it today. We're looking at the RSI and we're zooming into the 15-minute bars. So we're looking at very close time frames. Let's zoom back out just a little bit so that we can see here the last 3 times Bitcoin's made the big spike down. This is the first time that we have a divergence in the RSI that is standing out. Oh, we're looking at the MACD. I'm sorry. We'll start off with the MACD indicator. So same thing. We've got the divergence in the MACD at the end here. When we compare the last 2 times that this happened, just in the last week and a half or whatever here, we can see that we didn't get that divergence. We had the crossover happen and prices bounced up. We had the crossover happen and prices bounced up. We didn't get a divergence. In fact, we had some agreement going on here, and yet when this crossed over, prices at least went steady for a while. This is the first time we've had this kind of strong divergence in the MACD. So that is just a point to consider right now. Let's go backwards and we'll go to the on balance volume. And here the same thing. I'm going to point out these 3 places, and then we're going to compare what happened here in the selling. Just a big dump of it, and then it recovered back up. Here we had another dump, but it didn't really move prices too hard. Here again, we had another dump of it, and then it kind of recovered, and we went back to green a bit. This is the first time we've had a double stage dump. And this is showing kind of a divergence as well, where we had a much bigger dump here, less volume of a dump on that second part. So this is another indicator that on the 15-minute bars, very short term, is showing kind of a divergence. Let's go on to our RSI, which is where I kind of meant to start. It's also showing the divergence here on the 15-minute bars. And if we zoom out and we're taking some attention to these 3 areas again, what happened to the RSI before? It just sharply jumped down and bounced right back up. Here we had a double points down, but no divergence really. This is the first time we've had a low with these lows, a higher low while prices made a lower low. And again, the RSI is showing strength as prices coming up. So this is very interesting to see these indicators. Now I'm going to go and clear these off and zoom out and see what longer time frames are telling us. So this is the first little bit of bullish news right that we have. Now let's zoom out. 1 week view. This has crossed over. Let me double click here so that we can zoom in and see what's going on here. This is crossed over and it's sort of showing a little bit of momentum going the other way, but not so good. It's kind of negative here. And if I zoom out to the 1 month view, these have just crossed away from each other and have going more negative. So the 1 month view, this is also looking negative for the MACD indicator. If I go to the 3 month view and we're on the 12-hour bars, this is already crossed over and they're still moving down. So this is also negative on the longer term view. If I go out to the daily, this is really important. Every time this is crossed over, we see prices come down. Crossover, prices come down. Every time it crosses over, prices come down. Crosses over, prices come down. We've had that crossover. And so overall, the MACD is giving me a longer term feel that things are going to be coming back from where they are still, even though we have a bit of a momentum change on the 15-minute bars. Let's see what the on balance volume says as we start zooming out on it. So we have a little bit less of a dump here. We have a stronger dumping here, less strength in selling here. So that's kind of a little bullish. If I zoom out to the 1 month view, that's where we are, the 3 month view. So we had a good surge of buying here and it's been less all the way along. So this isn't looking very, overall, it's bullish compared to what we've seen in the past. But in the short term, it's losing a bit of strength, still giving that feel that it may be pulling back. Same thing in here, is it's giving a feeling it may still pull back a little bit. One more to check out and we'll give some predictions here. So the RSI was very negative here on the 1 hour bars. When we go into the 4 hour bars, it's still a very negative RSI, much more negative than it was in the past for these moves. So that actually is a bullish indicator that if the RSI is that oversold. However, when we start getting out to the 4 hour bars, then it's a much less oversold. And when we go to the 1 day bars, even less still. This is the major oversold point here. So if I was to now make a quick prediction on where are we going from here, I don't think it's going to be deep or far. I'm just going to grab the Fibonacci retracements and take a look at this. So it wouldn't be unreasonable at all to be coming back down to these levels and retest them. And that wouldn't change the bull market status, the changeover from the bear to the bull. Now, 2 more things before we sign off here is to take a look at where Bitcoin is versus Ethereum and Litecoin. Ethereum to me still has room to come back a little bit here, no problem, and it wouldn't affect the major turnaround that we are in the midst of. Same with Litecoin, it could come back pretty significantly actually. It could come back 20% and not affect the overall change of the turnaround. Now, Stellar doesn't have quite that luxury. It made some good moves recently. If I zoom in, it made a good boom up there yesterday, and it's given that all back. But this is some rumbling coming in the market. It may pull back a little bit from where we are right now in many of these markets. So I don't have Litecoin quickly available. The next thing I want to finish up with is the cryptocurrencies. And I want to give a shout out to Bad News Triplet. He says, hey Doug, I took your advice and I took $200 and I bought 18 coins using the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So let's see how his portfolio turns out in 6 months. Now I really love this. I recommend this. It's fantastic. And what he's doing is checking out our other channel where we're going over all of these cryptocurrencies on Poloniex, but we're also have an alert service where we go over all of the cryptocurrencies on Binance as well. So here on the free channel on YouTube, we go over the 50 different cryptocurrencies every day and we grade them and we get a bullishness and a bearishness index, and it's still giving us a little bit more bull than bear strength right now on average with all the cryptos. Still not going nearly as much bullish as I'm expecting over the next while, but it may also pull back a little bit and give us some more bearish indicators over the next while, or at least some more neutral indicators as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin may be pulling back from where they are. And we will tune in tomorrow to see what actually turns out to happen on Bitcoin's prices from these levels here. Are we going to be seeing prices consolidate and bounce up from here? Or are we going to see another stage down further? And certainly we're at a level that a stage down further, yet we're already in that in-between stage. So we'll see if we come down to the $3,600 over the next couple days, or are we going to hold our place here and resume back into these middle levels? We'll see you tomorrow and find out what actually happens. Thanks again for tuning in. Good luck in all of your cryptocurrency trading.